Today we're going to be butchering a sheep for our neighbors. Let's get right into it. The first step to butchering any animal is, of course, the dispatching. It is not fun, but it's the most important part of butchering any animal. We try to butcher our animals in the most humane way possible, so the animal doesn't feel it. And if you like meat, this is just one of the parts it has to go through. So that is the first thing we do with the sheep. Let's move on to the next step. We then hang the carcass on a coat hanger thing called a gambrel, which we then hook onto the tractor fork with a chain so we can skin it. We could always skin the sheep on the ground, but it's much easier if you hang the carcass and skin it, so you don't have to bend over or flip the sheep over when you're done on one side. We do the same thing with the cows we butcher as well. Once we hang up the sheep, we start with the top legs and start cutting into the skin. The most important part here is to not cut the tendon that's holding the sheep up on the coat hanger. If you do, you'll definitely be skinning it on the ground then. And after you cut into it and get it started, you just keep skinning the skin off. Here, let me show you some video of us doing a cow. Here we go. Since the cow's a lot bigger than the sheep, you can see that we're cutting the connective tissue which attaches the skin to the body. The thing you don't want to do here is this. Cut into the skin that you just cut off from the body. Luckily, I got Grandpa doing it on accident to show you. Thanks, Grandpa. We love hair in our meat. We do this until all the skin is almost off. It takes a little while, but soon we get down to the bottom legs. Of course, after many involuntary muscle twitches and skinning of the connective tissue. And after we finally get down to the bottom legs, we then cut them off from the body to be cleaned and vacuum sealed, but we'll get to that later. Now that we got the skin past the bottom legs, we then nicely sliced off the two front legs. And then, it is time to cut off the head with a sawzall.
Go.
Now that both front legs, the head, and the skin are off, it was the perfect time to shoot my thumbnail for this video, pretending that I actually did something besides video it. I'm usually more helpful in doing butchering, but sheep are actually pretty low maintenance to butcher rather than a cow, so my dad and grandpa didn't need me this time. After that, it was time to gut the sheep, but in order for this video to stay monetized, I'm just gonna skip this part. After my dad guts the sheep, we then give it a quick rinse, just to keep it a little bit cleaner. And then we go ahead with the sawzall again and chop the ribs off. We then cut the back strap off into two separate pieces. This is so they'll fit in a bag. And then we part off the back legs.
Yep.
Now that the sheep is all cut up, we take the pieces and wash them off in the sink. And once they are washed, we put them in vacuum seal bags and vacuum seal them. And that's how you butcher a sheep. Check out some of my other videos that are not really about butchering every time. And thank you guys for watching. That's so far.